Hello everyone, welcome back. This is video 27 in a series. I'm preparing some lectures for a summer camp on game development with high schoolers, and I to edit my lecture notes beforehand, I was making some videos and just kind of watching what was going on, and decided to share the videos online instead of just deleting them afterwards. So uh, this is video 27, so we've been at it a while, and we recently went over storytelling and are ready to introduce a cutscene to create the story. And in the last video, we created the models to use in the cutscene. Or I guess I should say in the last video, I showed you the models that I created to use in the cutscene because we saw creating models in an earlier video and it followed the same process. So for brevity, I just went ahead and created them and exported them from Blender, and also updated the character model to reflect the storyline we're telling now for the interaction. So I'll go ahead and bring all of these new models in. Oh, don't need the original character version 2, and then a character for the cutscene, and then a stick, which is what our character is going to use to beat up aliens. So I'll drag those over and import them into Godot. Um, this series is about game development in general and just using the Godot engine as an introduction to the concepts and the logic and things for that. All right, so now that we've got all our models, we're ready to build our cutscene. And in general, a lot of things will be like the scene we built earlier. It should be a little bit easier because we won't need all of the uh, rigid bodies and kinematic bodies and physics and controlled movement and everything. Seeing as how it's just going to be an animated scene. So we'll just place the stuff and run the animations, and we won't have to set up controls because everything will be controlled by a timer in the animation. So I'm going to create a new scene and just base it off a 3D scene. And then we'll do, basically we need to recreate this same world we have over here because the cutscene is going to take places in the same spot as the game. So we already have an object for the world, but really here we just need the landscape. So I'm going to drag the landscape in and zoom way out because that took up a lot of space. Um, then the water kind of went with the landscape, so I'll drag that in. This one we'll have to use the actual object because there wasn't an imported model for that. Drag that up there. Um, Looks like it's in the right position already and everything, so that'll work. Um, we need our character, and we need the one for the cutscene. So I'll drag that up there to be a child of that. Um, and for the cutscene, the character is going to be standing over by the lake fishing. So need to position him where he's going to go. Um, This fishing pole ain't that long, so bring it over here right by the water's edge. Turn him around. And with 3D stuff, sometimes it looks like things are in a good position, and then you look from a different angle and realize how far off you actually are in that. That looks like it'll probably work. Got a character standing right down by the lake shore doing some fishing, and while he's here, then an alien ship's gonna roll in, and uh, he'll watch that, and then the character's gonna, for the storyline, the character's gonna pick up a stick that is laying beside him. Let's see, quickest way here is probably to copy the transform. So 159.2452. So maybe 165, 160. Should put it right near our character. Whoops, wrong one. And we just need to position this out here. The stick should probably be laying on the ground instead of upright. And for this, it's just kind of getting everything into the right position. That'll work. And we'll need a camera to look at our character. So I'll add a new camera, add a child node, and all this is stuff we've seen before. Actually, a little bit easier in this case, and that'll have a similar transform over here by the character. So I think that was about 170 and 2, 65. Is that where that was? Oh, it was close. So I'm going to get this character, the camera right over here watching the character fish. And my plan is that the character is going to be sitting here fishing. Um, don't want to watch the sky yet. That's too far. So the character is going to be sitting here fishing, and then we'll see the character kind of look off in the distance, and then the camera will slowly pan up to whatever the character is looking at, and that'll be the spaceship coming in, and then the character will look back and notice the stick, look down at the stick beside him, and then we'll jump into the gameplay where the character is going to spend a bunch of time uh, beating up aliens with that stick that he picks up beside him. So I guess next off we need the alien ship to come in and land. Okay, that was much bigger than I thought it was going to be. Um, so I'm going to scale that down considerably. I still want it to be a big, huge alien ship, but well, let me use the numbers to do that. If I go to transform, let's oops, I unlink that, and this little link here tied all those scale values together so that scaling in one direction applied to the others. So let's see what 0.2 does. 0.2, 0.2. Um, that'll probably work. If we're down here by the character and look up there, we can see the spaceship coming in for a landing. And I might do some other things later, like attach some lights and make it look all fancy. There we go. And just like before, we need to throw in a sky and some lighting. And in Godot, we could use this default one. I like to go ahead and add them myself. Um, so let's add a child node with a directional light. And we saw before, all that really matters from our directional light is which direction it's pointing in. Where is that at? Ah, and rotate that so that it's pointing pretty much down at us. That'll work. If we go back to sort of the character view, And hopefully you see the process of just setting everything up here and kind of looking at what we'll have. So the character will look up at the ship, then down at the stick, and then we'll start the game where the character is holding the stick and running around beating up those aliens. So that'll give us the cutscene. Um, and I think I'll do all the scripting in the next one. Oh, I guess I can put in a sky. So let's add a sky, uh, which I guess this is kind of a review on all the parts we used to build up the earlier thing. The sky goes in as part of the world environment. And Godot has some nice sky options. There's actually, when we set up a new environment, um, one of our options is to create a sky uh, as a sky shader. So that's going to be in an upcoming video. I'm just going to throw in a sky looking color here for now. That ought to work. So I'll save that as cutscene. Levels, this will be intro cutscene. And we will get started scripting the things for this in the next video because it looks like we're already up to 11 minutes. So I'll see you in the next video, but you'll see getting everything in place is just like before, and it'll be very similar. We're just going to basically run the animations. We'll run a timer for a few seconds of him fishing. Then we'll run the animation where he looks up at the thing, and then we'll set the timer or run some movement on the camera so that it slowly pans up and we see the spaceship, and then comes back down to the character if needed. And then we'll run the animation where the character looks down at the stick. And then we'll be ready to start our game where that character runs around and beats up little aliens using a stick. So I'll see you in the next video for that.